Thank you for joining our banking and credit card session. I am April Phillips. I am a product specialist team lead for the accounting department. For today's agenda, we will review bank account list and register, write checks, make withdrawals, make deposits, the bank reconciliation and undo feature, credit card accounts, also including credit card reconciliations, import banking, which is in a new location under transactions, and also bank feeds and Plaid. Once you log in to Proven Accounting, you will originally land on your dashboard. To open the banner, click the quarter moon in the upper left-hand corner. You can now see all of your available items to select from. We're going to choose banking for today's session. Our first item on our agenda is to review the bank account list. This shows you all bank accounts inactive or active. To view the account details, you will click the word that says account. You now have the opportunity to enter in an account number or any other pertinent information belonging to the bank account. You can also click this word that says register, and it will show you all of the transactions contributing to the balance on the register. This will also show you whether or not something has cleared the account. If we want to view only cleared items in here, we can simply type in the word yes, and it will show us cleared items. If we want to view all of them, you can just delete the word, and it will show you all of the items. Navigating to the write check screen. The write check screen's intention is to write a check for anything that does not have a payable associated to it. A recent update that we did for the write check screen is to show all checks in the write check screen, whether or not they are associated to a payable. Right here, it shows that this was a write check, or this one is an edit payable. To create a check, you just click New Record in the upper right-hand corner. You'll then define who you would like to write the check to. I'm going to choose Avengers Construction for our demonstration today. If you want this check to be associated to the vendor record, you will need to click Contact ID and then choose Avengers Construction again. I'm going to enter in $100 for our check. I will click Add New Line. As you can see, it populates with a default account ID, and also it pulls down the amount of the check that was written. If we want to job cost this, we will need to select the word that says job, and then enter in the job, select the category and selector, and then once the job is selected, the account ID will change to the WIP account automatically. Once you are satisfied with your transaction, you may enter post. Another feature that is on this screen is right here. You can just do a quick add. We're going to pay our utility bill, and this time we are going to split the bill between two different accounts. We will do one for phone and one for internet. So if you add a new line first and add the account for cell phone, you can see it gives the account ID and the location. We're going to do $100 for this. And then if you click Add New Line again, the system automatically does the math for you, giving you the balance of the bill. To allocate the other line to a different general ledger account, simply click the account ID. We will do a utility and just click Select. Now you can see we have split this one transaction into two different costs with two different general ledgers. From this point, you can just simply click Post. When you write a check in this screen, it is with the intention of actually printing a check. These are typically not entered for ACHs. So in this screen, we're going to click the Print button. From here, if the check template has not been previously set up, you can click this word that says design, and you can design your check template to line up appropriately on your check stock. If you have already done this with the payable screen, then you do not need to do it again. The check template transfers from the payable screen into this write check template. Navigating to make withdrawals, this information is entered the exact same way as a check, only this intention is to record an ACH payment or an electronic withdrawal that came from your bank account when you do not have the intention of writing a check. So just to review this again, we will pay a plumbing company. We will put in the cost for our plumber. Click add new line. For this one, since it's a plumbing company, we will go ahead and job cost it. And then once you have your information in here as desired, you may simply click post. Again, filling out this information is very similar to filling out the write check. Our next screen is make deposit. Make deposits are typically only entered for any non-receivable. So if you have a deposit that goes into your bank account that is not associated to an actual customer invoice, this is the screen that you would record that deposit in. An example of a make deposit could be a referral payment that you receive from someone for sending them work, or a refund from a plumber for charging too much, or even a workers' comp or general liability refund. The way that you would enter this information in is you just click add new record, and then you would click your payment method. We're going to choose check for this one. We're then going to click the amount, and then click add new line. Once again, our default account shows up. Most of the time, these types of deposits are not to the job, so in this situation, we will choose a different account. We will post this to a workers' comp account and click select. Again, the location automatically defaults. Once you're satisfied with this information, you will simply click post. This now records the deposit. Just keep in mind that it's going to also batch record this deposit with any other receivable deposits that you may have done on this date for this description. If you want to have a unique description for these types of deposits, since they are typically deposited separately, then you can have a unique description. Otherwise, this will batch post with your other deposits that you do during the course of your day. The next screen we will review is the bank reconciliation screen. For our demonstration, I'm going to choose the account at the bottom of the list, 11050. I will click select, and then I will click search. This bank reconciliation screen is meant to clear the transactions that have cleared your bank and also to reconcile these transactions with your bank statement. So for our purposes today, I'm going to go ahead and change this date to October 31st of 2024. Whenever I click search, you can see now I only have transactions up to the date of my statement. I will then click actions, clear all. This will then clear all of my transactions. Typically, this is done on a weekly basis where you come in and check the box once you have seen that the transaction has cleared your bank account. However, for our demo purposes, I'm going to go ahead and do them all at once since there are so few. At this point, we will need to enter in our ending balance, which for this case, it's going to be a negative $1,033.41. As you can see, once I click tab, the difference is 0. If your difference is not 0, then you've either missed checking a deposit or checking a payment. Best practice is to compare these deposits to the deposits on your bank statement and also these checks and payments to the payments on your bank statement. Once you are satisfied with your selection, you then click Actions and Complete. It'll ask you if you are sure, you will say yes. Once it is cleared, it will ask you if you want to print a bank rec report and you say no, or you can say yes if you want to actually physically print one. If you do not print one, then there is the ability to print one in the future. If you want to print your bank reconciliation again, you can simply go to Reports, Bank Reconciliation Reprint, and then you can see the bank rec reprint here on screen. Furthermore, if you decide that you have made a mistake on your bank reconciliation and you need to undo it, you can undo. Just keep in mind if you have a full years of bank recs completed and you undo the one for October 31st, 2024, you're going to do all of them after October 31st, October 31st, 2024. It will not just be this one. It will be this one and all of them that came after. Once you click undo, it'll ask you if you are sure. It even gives you a warning. This date forward, you cannot undo this action. We're going to say yes, we would like to continue. When you go back into your bank rec screen and then select your bank account, you can now see that all of those transactions are back in our bank rec screen. Moving on to credit card account. Credit card account works similarly. You actually have your credit card list here where you can see your register of transactions. You also have a credit card charges list where you can see all the credit cards that are posted. There's also a credit card returns list. And then the credit card reconciliation. Again, this works similarly to the bank reconciliation where you would check the boxes, enter an ending balance, and then confirm your bank rec is in balance. The credit card reconciliation and the bank account reconciliation has separate security in the security tab. This allows you to give some employees access to banking and not credit cards, and vice versa. The next item we're going to look at is bank feeds. This is introducing the ability to pull in banking transactions directly from your bank. We have chosen a third-party connection called Plaid. For our purposes today, we're going to click this bank account and then click search. This brings in all transactions that have not been allocated or matched to another transaction from your bank account. This allows you to directly pull in those ACHs I was mentioning earlier, with the ability to also match to existing transactions or create new transactions on the fly. To match to an existing transaction, you just need to open up the entry and then see if a suggestion comes up. This one is for $6.33. So we're going to check this box and then click done. Once we click done, that transaction falls off the list as it has already been matched. Same for this $5.40. We click done, transaction will fall off the list. If the transaction does not exist, you can actually create a banking entry on the fly. You can click Create Bank Entry and Add New Line. You'll then have to select your account ID. It will default to the user's location, and then it will show you the amount. Once satisfied, you can click Done. However, if this is for a specific job number, you do have the ability to select a job. Once you click Done, it removes the entry from the list. The entries that have already been processed are in the file called Processed. This will show you all the previously submitted entries, including any deposits that we may have associated to an invoice, and also any transactions that have come through. There is also another option called Ignored. This is in the event that you potentially have a duplicate transaction because someone has already entered the information and you do not want it to be duplicated. The bank feed setup is pretty simple. You go to Company Preferences, Integration, and then Plaid. Once you're in this screen, when you click Add New Account, it will open up a window and ask you to enter in some information. This is actually coming to my phone. I will get a notification, and then you will enter in the code. Once the code is entered, it will ask us which type of bank account we would like to choose. We will choose Bank of America. Click Confirm. Continue to log in. And then you will log in from there. Once your account is set up or connected, you will then decide which general ledger account ID you would want to associate to it. You will also decide the date in which you want to sync your transactions. For most companies who are already on board with us, I always recommend this date being the most recent date after your last bank rec was complete. So this will match to existing transactions so it doesn't create duplicates, but it will also have less for you to do since it was just since your most recent bank rec. We will now review transactions and import banking feature. This used to be under our banking module, but now we have added the ability to import journal entries. This journal entry does not have to be payroll specific. This journal entry could be any kind of entry that you want to upload, so you don't have to data enter it. For our purposes today, we're going to go ahead and create a template to import credit card charges. To create the template, you click New Record. I already have a template file set up, so my Excel spreadsheet is going to be selected. My Excel spreadsheet includes column headers such as date, payee, memo, account ID, location, job, and so on. Your column headers on your spreadsheet do not affect the ability for you to import data because we are doing this step. This step is mapping your column headers to our existing data sets. Some of these items are required, and we will review those as we go along. So date and then payee is payee, which is required. Memo is memo. Account ID is account ID. Location is location. Job is job number. Category is category. Selector is selector. Job category is job category. And amount is amount. Again, you can see some of these have asterisks on them, which means that they are required. We also need to give this a name, and then we will click Save Format. Once our format is saved, we can actually go into the corresponding import, pull up our template. We'll then select an account ID. So for this, we're going to choose the bottom account. These two items are options. Reverse amount means that it will reverse the amounts on your spreadsheet. Some banks actually export the transaction list with a negative number. Therefore, we do not want to enter it with a negative number. We want to enter it with a positive number. Therefore, you must reverse the amount. So instead of this being done manually on a spreadsheet, we actually have a box here that will change the amount for you. The next option is group entries by number. A good example of this is if you go to a place to purchase materials and you purchase materials for several jobs. Those cannot be individual credit card transactions because when you swiped your card, it was only one transaction. However, they need to be allocated to different jobs. This gives you the ability to have all of that information on your upload and have a sort order to where you can identify one transaction amount with several line items in it. So we're going to click Select Import File. We're going to choose our accounting upload. As you can see, I have some missing information. This means that this job number does not exist. What you'll need to do is go into your spreadsheet and actually make sure that your job number is correct. Once you have changed your data in your spreadsheet, you will click Select Import File and you will re-upload your file. As you can see, I had to change my location and I changed our job number. At this point, you can then click Create Entries and it says data has been imported. Click OK to view. We will click OK to view. This information comes in unposted. So as you can see, the majority of these are unposted. We will need to go batch post our transactions. I'm going to click Batch Posting, create a new record. I will select Credit Card and I will click Save and Close. This now pulled in all of our credit card charges that are unposted. One good thing about this screen is that if there is a problem posting the transaction, such as a wrong account ID or a closed accounting period, you'd be able to see this in the comment section. So we are going to click Start Process. We will say, yes, we would like to start the process. And now it shows it has started. Within just a few moments, we will start to get a status of this information. We already have one that says error. You must select a location ID for an other expense account type. So if you click on this transaction, you can actually see that at this one, there's no location. So we will just select a location and then we are able to post the transaction. We have a few more errors here, no details found. That means that we just have a blank account or a blank credit card charge. You can simply do actions and delete and say yes. It takes us back to our list. And then the rest of them show done, which means that they have successfully posted. This concludes our demonstration for banking and credit cards. We will now open the floor to any questions that you may have. If you are unable to ask your question during a Q&A, if this is previously recorded, please submit your question to support@KNMSys and a trainer will get back to you. Thank you so much.